What's good? What's good? There is no cadence to my content right now. This is me just creating because I don't have anything better to do, and I just have a lot that I'm trying to get out. Um, so if you're watching this, thank you. Leave a comment about something that you'd like me to maybe talk about, because right now I'm just whatever. Fuck it. Veterans Day and virtue signaling. That's what I want to talk about. Not that it's bad to virtue signal about Veterans Day, but the last 4 years we've seen this rise of virtue signaling, identity politics, the oppression Olympics, intellectual gymnastics, all kinds of fun things that have really muddied the waters of civil discourse between citizens. And it's gotten to the point where I'm seeing rebounds of actions and activity where people are adopting positions merely because it is counter to a position to someone that is irritating them with their virtue signaling. So in other words, I'm seeing people move further right and or further left as a result of virtue signaling from our peers. We're all one race of people, so it's always weird and whatnot to try and differentiate groups of people, and I can understand on one end why that happens, but ultimately when we can acknowledge and embrace the idea that we are one people that can collaborate and work together, we can really bring love into the world. And now let's get to the heart of the matter, and that is systems that divide people. Individuals on an individual level are capable of so much love, compassion, kindness, and good. They can also be corrupted. And as we construct these institutions and systems that become more and more corrupt themselves, we normalize the corruption that they put out into the world, which then normalizes corruption that other people justify in their day-to-day lives. When I talk about the culture war or the spiritual war, there is a war being waged on our consciousness. More and more people are becoming unconscious about every aspect of their lives. So, the military-industrial complex is an institution that is dark, that is evil, that we must fight. We must dismantle the military-industrial complex. However, the members of our armed forces, most of the rank and file members, are good people who serve values like freedom and honor and would die for you. They would die for you. And so the more we focus on the system of the military-industrial complex, and the more that people create this hate for our soldiers, that's just creating division. That is a system that creates division among our people. We need to understand we will always need a military. Every civilization throughout history has had a form of warriors or militias or gangs to protect the people. And so while we are all one people, we should also protect ourselves. There is an awesome Zen expression I love. It goes something like this. It is better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. So we need these members of the armed forces to be trained and skilled should a true threat emerge. However, imperialism is not a true threat. But I don't think most people who have joined historically or will continue to join are joining because they love imperialism. Not at all. I think they love their families. They love their communities. That's what motivates and inspires them. Some of them don't have any other option. Some of them get lured in. Some of them get manipulated in. It is an evil system. But when you separate the individual from the system, You are able to see the bigger picture. This level of nuanced thinking is what is not allowed in identity politics. This level of nuanced thinking is what has been suppressed and what will continue to divide the people. We should be thankful for people who have died and who will choose to die for our little bit of freedom that we have. Now, I will agree with so many people from all directions, left, right, up, and down, that our systems, so many of our systems as a collective society are broken, are fundamentally broken. I agree. I want to have conversations with people around how we can, as peacefully as possible, dismantle as many of these systems as possible, ushering in their death in an acknowledged and intentional way while we bring in the rebirth of something new and beautiful, the second renaissance that is coming. We are in a second dark ages, folks. There are mind viruses, propaganda, brainwashing occurring all around us. And the more divided we are, the easier we are to pit against each other and to hate each other. And the more we hate each other, the more we can be controlled. Look at the freedoms that we have lost over the last 250 years or however long we've been a nation. And I'm not even saying our founding fathers were great people. For the time they may have been, but historically, yes, they have many faults. Most of the rights that you want, that you're fighting for, are rights that were taken from you by the government. So when you're advocating for a bigger government, I don't understand how you think it's going to be better. You want to make the system that has fucked you bigger? Do you like being fucked hard? Hey, to each their own. But we need to separate the individuals from the systems. And we need to stop engaging in identity politics and virtue signaling. And we need to really begin to come together and unite and collaborate. And I understand that's a narrative that the mainstream media has been pushing now. Unite, yay, Biden won. It doesn't matter who the fucking president is. Our nation is divided. It is quite clear. How can we begin to heal this divide? And that starts with you. And that starts with me. That starts with ourselves and our communities. But we also need to somehow find a way to collectively unplug from the chaos and the brainwashing and the propaganda. And we need to stop finding reasons to hate one another and look for reasons to love one another and build each other up and build our communities up. I don't know what the future has in store at all anymore, at all. But I do know that if there is any hope, it is going to come from love. Thank you very much for listening.